Warning. The Atom&Dex show contains adult language, adult content, psychological mayhem. Listener discretion is advised. And now, the internet's most bannable podcast, The Atom&Dex Show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa, what am I hearing? I'm hearing some like playback somewhere.
And now,
What the heck?
most bannable podcast.
I wonder if I got. Oh,
Atom&Dex Show.
that's why I was hearing it there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Atom&Dex podcast. Here, we got a special guest today, Dex, who is AFK at the beach. Dex, tell us how the beach is going for you today.
It's going great for me. Really enjoying my time here at the beach. It's really nice and sunny. I can't get any bitches though, cause I'm gay. I'm really gay, and really have a hard time attracting any bitches. Yeah, I might be back next week.
Anyways, you heard it here from him first, you know. But Ginger's melt the sun. Yeah, he's gonna come back looking like a lobster next week. I'm assuming. So hopefully, he put on a lot of SPF sunscreen. You know, block out those delicious rays. Welcome everybody to the chat. Thank you for joining us. We're live right now. YouTube, Twitch, Kick. All the juicy areas, all the juicy juices, all the Joss Gosses. Unfortunately, all jokes aside, Dex, he's, rest in peace. He's enjoying his time off at the beach. He's down in Florida today. So he might join in. He might. We never know. He said he was going to do it. He said he was going to call in. I'm still waiting for that to happen. So we'll see. But I get to razz him. Since he's not here, he can't defend himself against the onslaught. Anyways, we got a few topics today to go over, and we're gonna start it off by saying, as we always do, yeah, get out of the chat. No hail Satans, okay? You can, when you're a guest, you can come in and you can say whatever you want. But if you're in the chat saying hail Satan, no, so. We're going to start off right off the getting the disclaimer out of the way. Everything that we see here is all, fake news. It's all for satire. It's all for comedy purposes. None of it's real. It's all made up opinions, But, however, we're going to talk on these subjects as though they are real. And as though everything here is not comedy, right? And everything is true, factual, accurate. But it's, once again, disclaimer: fake, unreal, untrue, all made up, all entertainment. All right, Dex, what do you think about this one? We got the comparison of the truck size, the bed of a truck, to the fall of the Roman Empire. So in today's today's age, is this the fall of our Roman Empire, the decline of the bed size of trucks? I think it's like showing that we're doing less work, right? Our focus isn't about progress and work and the betterment. Instead, it's about amenities, luxury, comfort, being a woman. Being a man who's a woman. Living in today's society. I think that's So Dex, what are your thoughts about that?
See, I'm at the beach right now, and I can't really think about that.
All right, that's fair enough. That's a really good, solid point there, Dex. But anyways, thought that was interesting. Thought it was funny. Yeah, it's really similar to the fall of the Roman Empire. Once it's like that. It's like a summed up reference to that hard times, create strong men create good times create soft men, and soft men create hard times, right? And then the cycle continues, right? So are we on based off of the truck bed sizes, are we on the decline of Western society as we know it? It's very possible. Very, very possible. But that's just my opinion, ladies and gentlemen. Don't take my word for it. All right, here we go. We got some news here we can discuss. Greek Coast Guard threw migrants overboard to their deaths, witnesses say. More than 40 people are alleged to have died as a result of Greek Coast Guard actions. Big Black Cock analysis reveals. Well, according to Big Black Cock, Greek is throwing migrants overboard. What do you think about that, Dex?
Big Black Cock's my favorite.
Dex, you're silly, dude. I think it's actually the British Broadcasting Company is what that's supposed to be, BBC. But Greek Coast Guard throwing, I don't know why they're throwing them overboard. I didn't do. As usual, I don't dive into these things. I just look at them. I read them. I think it's probably because they don't want any more migrants. Kind of like I think Ireland is getting that way. And America is actually, surprisingly, Joe Biden is getting stricter on the border, allegedly. Dex, how do you feel about Dex? I can't even look at you. You look so adorable with those sunglasses on. But yeah, I think countries are tightening up. Why? When they seem to have been loosening up for years. Is it because we have some other concerns going on about wartime with Israel and Lebanon and Russian warships in the Gulf near Cuba? Is that why? Are we starting to tighten up? You got to tighten up your borders in the times of war. Who knows? But we're still letting immigrants through in America, though. I mean, that's just a fact. So let them come on over, and they get free. They got all constitutional privileges and rights. Who doesn't matter if you're documented or undocumented? Just come on in. Doors open, baby. Get your ass over here. However, in Greek, if you try that shit, you're gonna get thrown overboard and die. If you can't swim, well, who knows? All right, we can go on to the next subject here. Putin peace terms slammed at Ukraine summit. So apparently Putin had come up with his proposition for his terms of agreement for a ceasefire and to actually have peace. But Zelensky and Ukraine, they weren't having it. So when they brought it to, I believe it was the summit in Switzerland. Yeah, there you go, Switzerland. And they shot it down. All the allies. I think it's NATO, right? Like NATO allies. They were like, we're backing Zelensky on this one. We want to keep this war going. As long as the U.S. keeps pumping those dollars our way, let's keep this thing going. I got a lot of money out here. I got a new beach house that I'm planning on building. And I got another, I got a new flat down in the fucking village there that I'm working on. And I really need all this money to be coming my way. If we stop this war, might be stopping that money coming into my pockets here. So as long as somebody's profiting off of this shit, they're gonna keep that shit going. Meh. As long as there's some kind of interest there, right? Some sort of, in the form of power, in the form of financial interest. So they're gonna keep that son bitch going, Keep that war rolling. Really bums me out Dex isn't here. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I like chatting it up with the homie. You know what I mean? I don't got a guest. I don't got a co-host. I am the lone wolf, trying to hunt alone. I'm looking for some sweet, juicy meats, some cuts. But yeah, I mean, that's happening. So, and I'm just going to say this too as well. My opinion is that Putin with Russia, China, America, and also the Middle East and Europe, they all need each other to keep their financial systems going, right? So they're all riding this like Cold War type fine line of positioning, like, of power, right? So, however, they still need each other to keep things going as they are, because once they cut off like certain supplies and you cut off certain trades, then now your economy is taking a shit because you're gonna have to supplement it from X, Y, and Z. So at the end of the day, they're doing this to get basically just more funding for themselves, and it's like a form of money laundering essentially. But that's where we're at. They got to take the money from the people. They need the people to fucking feed the machine, right? We're the cattle. We're the fuel for the fucking industrial complex, the military and corporation and government, you know. They need us. We're the cattle. We're the battery. We're the fucking motor that keeps this machine going. And yeah, and they just placate the machine to keep it running, and you know, they keep us happy and keep us distracted once. So, but yeah, it's we're not going to see an end to this fucking war until they're done making money off of it. All right, moving on. Let's go to some conspiracy stuff here, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and James. This is an oldie but a goodie. It's fun. It's a fun one. And we're taking calls. Get in the Discord. If you want to come in and comment about this, go ahead, pop in, say hi. Just be like, that's bullshit, or I love that conspiracy. My mom slept with Fidel Castro. You know, whatever you want to say. But hop in. Come on, say hi. Come on, say some shit in the chat. Say fuck you. I don't give a shit. We'll talk. But yeah. So Fidel Castro. Is it possible that him and Justin Trudeau's mom got it on? I mean, let's look at the similarities. They do look like he is of appropriate age, right? And I do believe his mom was familiar with Fidel. And they look a lot alike. They have a lot of similar values. But who knows? I mean, until we get Maury Povich in here and the DNA results are in, we'll never know. But they look an awful lot alike. Really similar. And, yeah. And slowly, very slowly but surely, Justin Trudeau is like, you know those communists? Those motherfuckers got some good ideas. You know? So, slowly going really towards the socialist avenue in Canada. And it's all a bunch of bullshit anyways. But I like this one down here. He kind of looks like Adam Driver, you know, the guy that played what's that guy, Kylo Ren, in the new Star Wars shit? With this mustache and the nose and shit. But yeah, that was a good one. I thought that was really, really interesting. Dex, what do you think about this? You're close to Cuba right now. Eh? No? Okay, all right. We can move on to the next topic here, ladies and gentlemen. So this one has been going around making the rounds lately, you know. So Tucker Carlson says aliens are one of the few topics he is scared to cover, and says that things he has learned are so dark that he can't even tell his wife. There's and quote unquote here, he says there's a spiritual component there that I don't fully understand. There are parts of that story that I do not understand at all that are really, really, really dark. It's so dark. How dark was it, Tucker? That I haven't told my wife about it. That's like a repeat of what they said up there. Anyways, parts of the government don't want you to know about this, but part of it is the public can't handle it, man. They can't deal with this. Would you say he knows the truth? This is a prison. I mean, very close, man. Very, very close. So, and he says it's too far out. The implications are too profound. Okay. So, he's saying that aliens and have a connection to our spirituality. And as we know, spirituality... Oh, my headset is starting to die here. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Be right back. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. Now we're back in it. There we go. Headset back on. Okay. So, spirituality and religion are tied in with extra dimensional and alien entities? What? This is strange. This he's missing a hose. He didn't charge his head. Hey man, production is going out there when you're trying to run the ship by yourself, and you got nobody manning the sails, you got nobody at the helm, and we're taking on water. It's a sinking ship, man. But somebody's got to keep it going. I still believe in the podcast. Serenity, no. Anyways, but yeah. Our senior religious correspondent, Dex, what do you think about this? Dex, well, he's AFK and he's not here. He's at the beach, so he can't comment. But yeah, they're slowly, like, even I don't know if you guys have watched like the David Grush congressional hearings and stuff like that, where he talks about with our Congress and Senate, where it's like, yeah, he's saying that the Vatican knew about the one of the alien crafts that was recovered in Paris in 1933 or some shit like that, and then they informed their government over there, and then our government got involved and somehow got the recovery of these crafts. And then you read into hold on, what was that comment? I can't see it. Why is my comments not working? Why are my comments not working? Hold on. I need to be able to see this. Sorry, guys. 19th of May, 2024. There's no miracles. Pope 2024. I believe in miracles. All right, I'll let you guys battle that one out. But so yeah, they recovered those craft. And supposedly, this is all according to David Grush, and this is just one instance of them having recovered craft, and then they were saying that this stuff all ties into historical sites, and these entities have been communicating with our ancestors for a really, really long time, and the implications that has on religion, because they were saying that these entities were communicating with our ancestors, and our ancestors believed them to be gods, and so therefore they wrote them down as gods. So that's why you get things like the Anunnaki, you get things like the Elohim, you get things like the cherubim, all the spiritual entities that you have that. So how does this tie in? This is really interesting. So do I believe it? I don't know, but it's all interesting conspiracy stuff to think about. But he seems to think that our government really believes that, right? And our government has, even though they may seem stupid, they have the smartest people working for them, and they have the largest library of information, and they have access to the even greater AI than what we have access to as to the public. Because as we know, our military and our government is about 20, 30, 40, some people say even 100 years more advanced than what we see out in the public. So, and this is just what's starting to get trickled down. Now, the opposite to that coin is that, is this all just a government psyop? So they're wanting people in the, the regular citizens, they want us to believe this for some fucking reason, right? Is it all just a show? Is this the moon landing? They want us to believe they landed on the moon back in the 60s, even though we haven't landed on the moon since. So is it like that? Where, because our government is staged many fucking events, and they even like because they don't want to. Yeah. Anyways. So, and they've done a lot of psyops against the public. So, I don't know where, but until I see evidence of this firsthand, it's up in the air. But we can go and look into some other things here that tag along with that. So, and this is on, I think, the National Health Institute. Like, this is an article that they publicized there, saying that encounter with the other, a thematic and content analysis of DMT. So I think it's dimethyltryptamine. There you go. Yeah. So DMT. So people who have taken DMT experience from a naturalistic field study. So what do they experience? So they administer DMT to patients, and then they ask them, like, what was your experience like? What did you guys do? And then commonly, the first overreaching category comprised the encounter with other beings, 94% of reports, encompassing superordinate themes including the entity's role, appearance, demeanor, communication, and interaction, while the second overarching category comprised experiences of emerging into other worlds. So, using our own mind and having a breakthrough experience, for some reason 94% of people experience, when they have this trip, communicating with extra dimensional entities. And it says here, the present study provides systematic and in-depth analysis of nuanced content of the otherworldly encounter with breakthrough DMT experiences, as well as elaborating on their resonances both with previous DMT studies focusing on entity encounters and other types of extraordinary experiences entailing such encounters. These include the alien abduction, folkloric, shamanic, and near-death experience, putative neural mechanisms of these features of the DMT experience and its promise. Anyway, so there's a whole study on this. So basically, they're saying that, like, and then there's another conspiracy side of this too that I'll get into here in a second. But yeah, anytime anybody trips out on DMT, they have experiences with, like, spiritual entities, dark entities, alien entities, afterlife like experiences. And now, so supposedly, our government, this is a conspiracy theory here, that they were doing experimentations with people where they were drip feeding them DMT to keep them in a prolonged experience and state, so that way they can have greater communication and contact with these entities. And supposedly that's where a lot of, like, the alien shit is coming from. Like, it's not like a physical, tangible thing. It's like people having this extra dimensional contact with these extra dimensional beings. That's why you hear extra dimensional shit so frequently nowadays, right? So now the tie-in is like, back in the day, well, we can go, it's another, like, alien thing, but back in the day, these entities were, like, considered demonic, right? And it said in the fucking teachings not to take hallucinogenic drugs, because these demonic entities would contact you and reach out to you. But however, our government's saying that they're alien extra dimensional beings, and they're not calling them demonic. So, interesting stuff. It does have religious implications, but, you know. So, what is the reality? Are these things nothing? Just figments of the imagination? And because here's the thing, too. Is not only do these people have these experiences with these entities have, like, a continuity between every individual's experience with them. Like, they see the same things, they talk about the same things, and they know of, like, the other experience. It's really fucking interesting. So you guys can look that study up if you really want to do a deep dive on that. But yeah, So, like, are these spiritual entity good, or are these alien, or what do they call it? Benevolent, right? Are these benevolent entities? Are they benevolent aliens, or benevolent spiritual, or benevolent gods, or not gods, or demons? Or are they malevolent, right? So, are these things evil? Do they have our best intentions in mind? And are these even real things, or is this all bullshit that our government's giving us? Who knows? But it is interesting, and there are studies on it, and there is some reality to it. But what does that mean for us, the regular Joe Schmo, the people walking on the street going to work every day? I don't know. God damn it. But it's something to think about, something to have fun talking about. Hold on, let me read the chat here. Let me get caught up here. Literally no more. And of course, it's all about alien. Oh, so we got some people saying it's aliens, and then we got another guy saying he's gonna walk on water. Dead guys, but dead guys also hail Satan. So there's that. So somebody can decide what is alien, what is saint, and true. Pope needs to approve. I mean, and the weird thing is, like, why is the Vatican and the Pope involved with this shit? Why are the Rothschilds? Like, it's weird. It's creepy, dude. And then you look at it and you're like, these people really exist. They're really doing these weird fucking things. And here, one of the things here later on, like the fucking, where's he at? This right here. This fucking lady is like a occultist practicer who does like Satan, like summoning Satan. Anyways, she does like these spirit cookings and talks about, like, sacrifices and weird shit like that. And why is the fucking Rothschilds, who own a shit ton of money and have a shit ton of power and influence over the goddamn planet, why are they hanging out with this dumb bitch? And these people influence the rest of us, and it's weird, creepy. Yeah, and those are real people doing real weird shit, and who have real fucking influence over us, whether we think they do or don't, because this motherfucker has a lot of money, and he has a lot of that invested into private equity firms, and our private equity firms, as we know, are like the biggest voice on all the board of directors of all of our corporations, and those corporations go out and give us all of our products that we fucking consume all the fucking time, that give us our media that we consume all the time. So they're influencing us directly all day, every day. And it's very, very weird, very strange, may or may not be in our best interest. And it's weird how all this shit ties in with each other. I didn't really dive too deep onto this one, but it is interesting, because in Mexico and other places they do see these, and this could just be military spacecraft too, because there are a lot of advanced military spacecrafts that we don't know about that are out there, right? That are they're undisclosed to the public. So, like, Lockheed Martin, Boeing did it. What's the other one? I can't remember right now. Skunkworks, but Skunkworks is Lockheed Martin. But all those, like, military contractors, and DARPA and all this other stuff. But all right, let's look at this. So it says Mexico City, Guanajuato weather radar report on. Totally not. Guanajuato. No, I'm not saying that right. Weather radar report on Tuesday, September 1st, 2020, between 11 a.m. and 1400 p.m. A mothership in a gaseous state of cloud just. And some people say that these aren't even physical things. These are just like projections. That's another conspiracy. Very interesting. It says they are with us. Curious formation of geometric clouds, right? It is being removed from other weather channels. You can see it on Vintusky.com. If you put the exact date and time as in the photo, and if you hit radar, it's not Photoshop. You can check in the weather website for yourself. Clarification. Ground pictures are not mine and was taken from other sides of the world. People sent to me compared with the radar. Weather radar pictures taken in Mexico look like the same similar object. Who knows, man? We could have like a massive fucking government mothership, or it could be an alien. I don't know. Could be demonic hallucinations. Could be projections. But it's interesting to think. Could be a hoax. That too. Could be fake. But yeah, it's interesting to think about. I will say this. I'm going to give you guys my experience, and here's what I think it is. So, when I was younger, and I saw this thing fucking twice in the sky. So, take this for what you will, and hear me out to the end of the story so you can see what I think it is and where my mind's at with it. So, when I was younger, I saw a fucking like almost neon green-ish light in the star with the big streak behind it, right, of the same color, and it was just looked like it was in our atmosphere, and it was going way fucking faster than any plane I've ever seen in the planet, and just cruising across the sky. So I was like, that's weird. Never seen anything like that before. Never seen anything similar to that. If I look up any kind of like airplane or lighting or anything similar, and I haven't seen like UFO pictures of similar stuff. So I was like, what the fuck was that? So I was like 10 11 years old at the time when I saw that, when this was in Sacramento. And then I didn't think anything of it. And then when I was like 27, living up in 26, 27, living up in Paradise, I saw the same exact thing in our atmosphere, cruising across the sky. And I was like, okay, that's got to be something if I'm seeing this same shit again. But so I was like, that's my only experience of only ever seeing anything in the sky that looked strange or weird, because everything else is like, oh, that's an airplane. Like, you'll see airplanes because they are shiny. Sometimes the light will reflect on them, and they'll look like those fucking cylindrical cigar alien UFOs that people are talking about. Like, oh, it's a big tubular cigar UFO, and it disappears. And they'll disappear from your visible eye line because the light no longer hits them in the way the refraction. And then if you have like binoculars or something, and you zoom in, then you actually see that they're there. But from you're no longer seeing it because it's not reflecting the light back at you. But so anyways, my thing was, when I looked up later on, like, okay, what this thing could be, let me clear up all of it, like that green light that I saw in the sky streaking across the sky. And it looks like a comet like entering our atmosphere is what it looks like. So that's all I can say. It was either like a comet or an asteroid. So am I sold on the UFO shit? No, not sold on it. And when I listen to other people's experience stuff, kind of strange. But I have another story which is really, really weird, but I don't know, this is all like secondhand family stuff, so take it for what you will of UFO. So my grandfather was in the military, and he was stationed out of Arizona, and he was a aircraft mechanic, and he was a mechanical engineer, and he actually had patents with Hughes aircraft. Anyways, but that's besides the point here. It's just giving you a little bit of background. So he was in the military, and he and my mother, because this is my grandpa, is my mom's dad, and my mom said, like, one night he came back from the military base and was like freaking the fuck out, and it was like, we got to get the hell out of here, they're gonna be coming for us, they have aliens. I swear this is what my mom said, and she never fucking talked about it. She told me about this like one fucking time. They got aliens, we gotta get the fuck out of here, they're gonna be coming for us, da 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 da. So sure shit, like 20 minutes later, as he's trying to get his family packed up and get the fuck out of there, two dudes show up. Hey, he's going crazy, we gotta take him, we're gonna go take him to the nut house. So they take my grandpa to the wherever they fucking mental institution they took him to, and they gave him electroshock therapy. And after that, my grandpa was never the same, according to my mom. And they put him on lithium and put him on mental disability from the military, and he was on disability after that, ever since then. And I do know for a fact my grandpa was on lithium and heavily medicated. So, sounds really like something that would happen to somebody who stumbled onto something. So, just throwing that out there. Could be a story my mom told, but I highly doubt it. Take that for what you want. Big grain of salt there. Anyways, let me go back to we're gonna check the chat. What does the chat got going on? What are we saying here? Gaming semantics apparently, gaming cherry logic. I heard they're making the frogs gay. Yeah. Well, I think like frogs don't have societal things, so I don't think frogs being gay or is a thing. But I do know that they were changing the hormones and the making the frogs become female and changing sex and stuff like that. So it's not like they're making them gay. But if you look up atrazine and the chemical effects that it has on frogs and amphibians and then also atrazine, it has really similar effects to humans as well. And yet we have atrazine and like our water in our public water supplies and stuff like that. So there is interesting stuff there to be researched, but you can check it out if you want. Let me see. We go down to our Mexican correspondent. I know, yeah, Dave's not here, so he can't confirm this Mexico City alien mothership here. And we says we saw the same thing in the sky twice, and we're trying to send him a message. And for some reason, it was a big blimp, and it said, "Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't the Goodyear blimp, man." I'm pretty sure it was like a asteroid or a comet. And at the time, I really wasn't keeping up with and I still don't. Oh, there's a comet coming. Check it out. Get your binoculars tonight. Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones showed up. Yeah. Basically, I mean, take it for what you want, man. If you want to believe that, or don't believe me, I don't care. I got no. But anyways, all right. Let's move on. New subject here. The U.S. military draft bill. This is a new bill that would require women to register for selective service. So it would require women to register for the draft and be similar to the men, and the age range would be from 18 to 25. I think having women in the military get drafted is really funny. Oh man, that's and what's funny about this bill is like being suggested, right? It's being like brought up, and women are already like, hell nah, we ain't doing that shit. So they're already protesting this because men and women don't experience equal things, and I mean, not all the time, right? And this is one example of that. So we'll see where this winds up. It's probably going to wind up in the trash. But very, very, very funny. Yeah. All right, we can move on to the next one here. Keep an eye on that, though. Keep an eye on that. We might see women getting drafted into the military if we bust out in a war. But that also could be alluding to okay, so supposedly the White House and the Pentagon have been putting extra defenses and fences up around there. They're closing up. They're shutting up the borders a little bit. The Ukraine and Russia conflict is escalating. The Israel, Lebanon, Palestine whole thing is escalating. We have Russian warships coming around, and then they also changed the draft to include more men in a broader range, and then now they want to include women in a broader range as well. So are we coming into a major war? Is what this is? Are these preparations for a major war? Who knows? We could be going into something like that, and which is really interesting because it's like, I think the sentiment between the public and the government is really at all-time low right now. So our public is not enjoying the government. They don't agree with a lot of what our government's doing. They don't even like the politicians, and they don't like any of the bills and legislation and rules that are getting passed. So a good way to shore up like confidence in your government and to get everybody to shut up is to unify them through war. So if we wind up going through war, it could be something like that where it's like, okay, sentiment's at an all-time low. We need to go to war so that way we can get people to focus on war as opposed to focusing on the government. All right. So that could be that. All right, here we go. Glenn Greenwald was on the Tucker Carlson show earlier this week or last week or something like that. And he was basically saying that if there's a group or category of something you can't talk about, that means that those people usually have some pull or power. And he was specifically talking about the people in Israel and Jews. And it's a really interesting take because, like, why do we have freedom of speech of anything, just about, other than like calling out specific assault or some sort of act of violence, right? That's the only thing that's like really frowned upon in the freedom of speech stuff. But other than that, like, you can't talk about this certain people without getting blasted. Okay. So that is so strongly viewed that it goes against our right to freedom of speech. So it's calling into question, and that's what's happening with a lot of shit with our government. It's really, really funny because it reminds me of there's this like murderer that he killed, I think, his neighbor or something like that, and she was some female and she'd gone missing and the police were looking for her, and he had her body in a fucking cooler in his house, in his apartment. And so the police came in, they had a warrant, and they were like, all right, hey, we need to search your apartment. He's like, yeah, go ahead and look around my apartment and all this other stuff. Okay. So they go look in his apartment, and he didn't let them in immediately either. He's all, I got so, what are you guys doing? So he finally lets them in. They look through his apartment, and they're like, all right, we looked through the fridge, we looked through everything. We're about to head out. And then the cop sees like this big cooler in the corner of like his kitchen, and the cop's like, hey, what the hell is that cooler there? You know, he's like, do you mind if I look in that cooler? You know, because it could be big enough to hold the body. And the guy's like, nah, I'm using that for other stuff. Don't worry about it. You know, I don't want you to look through that. So he's like really skirting around. So the cop's like, nah, well, I want to look through that cooler. He's like, nah, well, I already told you. You look through everything. You guys can go. There's nothing in it. I'm just using it. I have a party thing that I'm doing in a couple weeks that I'm getting ready for. And the cop goes, all right, I'm going to put you under arrest. And then they go search the cooler, and it stinks, and there's a fucking dead body in there, right? So it's kind of like that, right? It's like that whole psychological thing of like, anytime you step onto something with our government doing something shady, they always try to shut it down. Don't look over here, or make a law where you can't look over here, but go ahead, talk about amongst yourselves and hate each other for gay rights and race and all this other shit, and talk about sports and talk about red and blue all you want, right? You can hate Republicans and Democrats all you want, but the second anybody brings up, hey, let's look into the, you know, American-Israel ties and how much influence they have in our government and our population, they shut it down, don't like it, and they ban people. And yeah, very, very interesting. So it's like, it's kind of like that, right? Like that murder. Once you're onto something, they really push back against it, you know? So or they same like the climate change thing, like the instant anybody mentions like climate change stuff, they put like with the COVID thing. Remember when everybody was like, we think this COVID thing's bullshit, then they censor everybody, they platformed everybody, they took fucking those episodes off of Joe Rogan, they told you fucking taking ivermectin was gonna be bad for you, and they were calling people idiots for taking that shit and saying it's a heart warmer, even though it's been a medication for decades, right? So like, and people take it in other countries all the fucking time, and even here in the States. They shut all that shit down once people were pushing back on the COVID thing, right? So it's just like that, man. It's all the same shit. So anytime people talk about the reality and actually wind up pointing the finger at the correct thing, that's when they create an all-out assault on you with media and misinformation and shit. Yeah, because they don't want you to go against their narratives. They don't want you to not fall in line. They want you to fall in line. They want you to shut up. They want you to do whatever they say. And they're slowly taking your rights away. You're no longer gonna. You're very close to being fucking slaves. Very, very, very close. We still have some free will, right? And that's the whole point of like your existence, is to have free will, have experience. Anyways, so they're shutting that shit down slowly but surely. It's the whole reason they put estrogen in your food. It's the whole reason they put fluoride in your toothpaste and in your water. They want you to be docile. They don't want you to have testosterone. They don't want you to procreate. They want to attack so they want to attack the father, so the father can't defend the family. So that way when they attack the mother can be teaching the children or not even having children. And then the mother will teach the children that the stuff that the father can't protect against. And now the children will go on and keep that cycle going. And so they attack your children in school, telling them, teaching them shit that children don't need to be taught, and to keep the cycle going. They want, basically, they don't want your children growing up and having a family. They want everybody to be an independent lemming with autism. And anyways, all right, let's get a new subject here. Wikipedia editors declare the ADL unreliable and ban the use of the ADL as a source on the anti-Israeli Palestinian conflict. A ban on the ADL as a source of anti-Semitism expected next. ADL faces a Wikipedia ban over reliability concerns on Israel and anti-Semitism. And I think ADL was like an anti-defamation league that was like like funded by Jews in Israel, and like it's funny because it's like a conflict of interest, right? So obviously you can't be a reliable source of information if you're the one that's being called into question. There you go. If somebody asks me, "Hey Adam, you doing anything wrong?" Nope, I'm doing just fine. Everything's great, fine and dandy. Nothing. I never did anything, But yeah, so you can't call into question a suspect who is the authority. The authority and the suspect cannot be one and the same. So, and that's basically what's going on with our fucking American government and the Supreme Court as well, by the way, with like, anyways. Anytime the public are like, "Hey, you guys are doing this shit that's wrong and against us. Can we take this to court?" And so they are the suspect, and they are the court, and they are the authority. So they're like, "Yeah, I looked into me doing wrong stuff, and according to me, I'm not doing anything wrong. Case closed. In the books." That doesn't work. So the people used to hold our unelected officials a lot more accountable than they do now. And there is no accountability amongst themselves because they are the suspect and the authority at the same time. Anyways, conflict of interest doesn't work like that. So you're going to get a cycle of corruption happening in the ruling class. Anywho, moving on. We can go to the next thing here. By the way, Dex, how's the beach? Well, let me call Dex. Let me get Dex on the line. What's that? You're swimming? Drinking a couple of Mai Tais on the beach? Wearing a tangerine Speedo? Oh, that's interesting. And you still can't get any bitches? But you found a nice looking homosexual named Pedro on the beach, and you and him are gonna hang out tonight? Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, that's it. Okay, I'll have fun. See you later, Dex. Anyways. Well, you heard it from Dex. That's just in from Dex. All right, so going about all that government stuff, let's see what the Gremlin has to say about, what do they advise? How should we be ready for all this stuff? Well, the Gremlin says,
Right now, we're advising all our clients to put everything they've got into canned food and shotguns.
yeah, stock up, weaponry, food, whatever, but just in case, make sure you and your family's needs are met, and you're not what's the word I'm looking for, tied to the system, right? So dependent, you're not dependent on other things to make sure that your family's needs are met. So make sure you have defense, make sure you have property, make sure that you have I mean, if you could, it would be ideal to have your own garden and your own livestock, so you can have your own food and you make sure you know what you're ingesting into your body, right? Make sure you filter your water, make sure you get rid of all the fucking heavy metals out of there, because you can look up heavy metals and their effects that they have in your fucking brain. That's what SSRIs are and other fucking psychotropic medications. Look it up. But yeah, just make sure that you are sufficiently independent as possible, which is what our forefathers wanted, which is why the Constitution was built the way it was, because they've seen this shit happen time and time again. All right, moving on from the Gremlin. Thanks for the great advice here, Gremlin. Here we go. Norm MacDonald with a little bit of advice here. Yeah, it says here in this history book that luckily the good guys have won every single time. What are the odds? That's the old saying, right? That the victors write the history books, right? So whoever wins the war they're the ones that tell you how the war went. If you ever watch any kind of a story of two guys independently of how a fight happened, both guys will tell you in some form or another that they won. Even the loser will tell you they won, right? It's pretty funny, but yeah, it's kind of like that. So it's hard to know what is the good ethics, what are the good morality, when everything you've been told is mostly propaganda. That's the part that's interesting. By the way, thank you everybody for joining and hanging out. I appreciate all 6 viewers, everybody coming in. I really do appreciate everybody chiming in the chat as well. If anybody has any other comments or topics that you guys would like to submit, you can always join our Discord. I put our Discord in the Twitch chat on the Twitch profile. If you click on the Discord, you're more than welcome to join the Discord. And if you become part of the community, we'll allow you into the private access areas of the Discord, and you can have some fun and contribute your concepts or your suggestions there. But there's also just a general chat in there that you guys can contribute your suggestions. I'm trying to prevent as many troll issues or anything like that. So I think in the chat you can only type. You can't submit any images or anything like that, but you should be able to submit your comments. All right, but and that's for a momentary time being until you guys get awarded your privileges in the chat. You must earn it. It's a meritocracy in the Discord community. Well, sometimes they say it's all about who you know. And then you get some privileges that way. All right, we can move on to the next subject here. Breaking news. Biden administration sent 2 FBI agents to a nurse's home who told the truth about the sex change program for minors at Texas Children's Hospitals. So there you go. Once again, once you start hitting on a sensitive subject of some sort of program or agenda that they're working on, they start going after you. What a coincidence. Don't look here. Don't look behind the fucking Wizard of Oz curtain. You'll see that there's an agenda going on. Once again, like I said, they're attacking your children. They're attacking the entire family unit from all fucking angles. What are they doing to the dad? Well, they're fucking giving him estrogen in every single fucking food. Look at phytoestrogens in soy, and look how much soy is in every fucking bit of food that there is out there. So no matter what you're eating, you think you're eating something that doesn't have soy. I'm gonna eat a cookie. Oh, it had soy in it. That's convenient. So you think you're not eating that shit, but you're getting it. You're ingesting it in one way. I'm gonna eat a piece of beef jerky. Oh, it's got soy. I didn't know that beef had soy in it. So everywhere you go, it has fucking soy. And then you look at what does soy have? It has phytoestrogens in it. That's one of the big things. And there's also other foods out there that have them as well that they pump out into your fucking processed foods. Anywho, what does phytoestrogen do? Well, it counteracts the effects of testosterone, so it lowers your testosterone levels. And you can see over the past 100 years, we have had declining testosterone rates. So what happens when you have less testosterone in a male? Well, a male starts taking less, what do they call, risky actions, right? So they're less aggressive, they're less assertive. So now you're getting more submissive and starting to display more female traits because those are things that are associated with estrogen, right? And it also throws the hormones out of balance in females as well because females, their testosterone levels is dropped as well. Now, okay, so now once you, and then also what are they doing? And not just the male, they're doing it to everybody with that stuff. The fucking, now once you start introducing like atrazine, then now you're really fucking people up into their food supplies and their water supplies, and then now with fluoride is in every single public water drinking supply, every single one. You're not fucking avoiding that shit unless you're drinking distilled water. You're getting fluoride. It doesn't matter. You're gonna get it in your fucking bottled water, and you're gonna get it in your filtered water, because these fucking filters, these reverse osmosis filters, they don't get rid of heavy metals out of your fucking water system. So you have, the only way to do that is to distill your water, or find a filtration system that does. So there's one called Zero Water. If you look up Zero Water, they will actually get rid of the heavy metals out of your fucking water, and so you're just getting water after you filter it out through Zero Water. But you're getting fluoride, and when you look at fluoride, if you actually go through the old historical research on it, fluoride has been proven to diminish intelligence levels, right? So it diminishes your ability to have critical thinking. So that way, if you want people who have critical analysis, those are people that call into question a lot of things. So when the government and these positions of people in authority are doing wrong things, and you're too stupid to think, what are they doing? Yeah, whatever. Football, basketball, driving. Anyways, so that's what winds up happening. So fluoride lowers, through studies, IQ points on an average. So that means you could be getting hit for less, but also a lot more, 7 points. So, and mind you, like, the average IQ used to be like a baseline of like around 100, right? Now it's getting closer to like 90. Once you're hitting like 75, 80, like, you're dumb. And then, like, anywho, that's what they're breeding, right? You're dumb, You're not dumb enough to be so incompetent you can't do anything, but you're dumb enough to not question things. So now, are you not aggressive? You're more submissive because you're eating all this fucking soy shit and you're eating all this estrogen. It's not just soy. I know the soy is like the big thing, but you're eating all this estrogen, you're ingesting it and taking it into your body. And now you're fucking stupid because you're taking in all this other heavy metals that are coming in. Okay? So that is part of it. That's why I'm saying, like, you just stay independent. So that's how they're attacking your family unit. So starting from the man's not avoiding all this stuff. So now the man is no longer standing up for and fighting against and advocating for his own family because he's too pacified. And then the female, she's now running she's the decision maker in the household. She's the one making all the purchasing decisions in the household. She's the one saying what, dictating what's going on. And because they attack the female through her compassion. They go, don't you not want your children's? Look at all these school shootings. We need to take away guns. Right? So they're attacking the woman's compassion. They're attacking her emotions. Oh, don't you want your child to not be insecure? We gotta give them gender and hormone treatments because your kid's gonna be sad. Your kid is not gonna know who they are. They might commit suicide. They're gonna have mental issues. Well, they already have fucking mental issues because of all the hormones and all the other shit that they're putting in our fucking food and our water supplies. And then on top of that, the children go to school and then they get all this indoctrination about this shit. This didn't used to be a big issue back in the fucking day. It's an issue now because it's become an issue. So, things like that. So now they're attacking the dad, they're attacking the mother, they're attacking the child. So that way, when the child gets older, they're not gonna fucking have kids. Like mothers now, if you look at like, I think it's like only 30% of like people who get inseminated, like females that get inseminated, wind up actually having births. It's like 70% of people are having abortions. And why? Well, because the woman just didn't want the kid, because they were worried it was going to ruin their life. Children don't ruin your life. They make your life better. I can tell you for a fucking fact. I was one of those people. I thought like I didn't want kids, right? And then once I had my daughter, it changed my fucking life. I was so happy to become a dad. And I was like, holy shit, I didn't understand. It like opened up like feelings that I didn't know I had. And like all these like paternal instincts just got fucking activated when I had my daughter. So all this, they give you all this shit on like why you don't want kids. Oh, because you can't afford it. You can fucking afford it. You can't. And you can make it happen. If you're an idiot and you're irresponsible and you chose the wrong partner and you are irresponsible with money, then yeah, don't have children. Don't. That's just on you. You're a terrible person at that point anyways. But if you are a good person, you have chosen your right partner and you have set yourself up financially, absolutely have a fucking child. It's a wonderful fucking decision. And it goes against the fucking agenda that's happening right now in the United States. Because birth rates, for a fact, are declining due to these fucking issues. Due to these issues, birth rates are diminishing. They used to be at like fucking 5 births to every woman. Then they went down to 3. Then they went down to 2.5. Then they went down to 2. Now they're down to 1.5. So that means more people are dying than people are being born. So our birth rates are taking in shit. And our fucking government knows this shit. And they're telling you to not worry about this. They're still pushing the hormones on the children, because what happens when these children take hormone therapies, they can no longer have kids. If a male child starts having hormone treatment, it chemically castrates the child. So the male can't have babies anymore. And it's same thing with the females. It affects the female reproductive system as well. So the females can't have babies either. So they're pushing the shit on your children. They're pushing it in your fucking food. They're pushing it in your water supply. They're pushing it in your media. Right? All fucking media. Go watch any fucking media in the last goddamn 10 years and tell me any fucking movie doesn't have these 3 fucking things in it. White man bad, like the white man, the man of this movie is a dummy and an idiot, and he's totally fucking, he's either a bad guy or he's totally incompetent, right? And then boom, female, probably gay, strong female lead, like the woman's needs to make the directions and make the decisions. That's the real smart person, is the female. The real leader, the real savior of the movie is usually the fucking female, right? And then they have some sort of gay fucking token person in there to be like, gays are great. Every fucking movie in the last goddamn 10 years has those 3, as some form of those 3 things in it, whether it's for a second or not. So that you're getting blasted with it in your media, you're getting blasted with it in your workplace as well, because if you say somebody a certain way or something like that, then whatever. Same thing with the fucking school. They're teaching the shit in the school, like, and they're from a younger and younger age. They're starting to attack kids that are like fucking 7, 8 years old with this gender shit. Like, gender shit, all there is, there's nothing more to it. Once you start advocating more than like man, woman, and breeding, once you go outside of that, now you're teaching children about sexuality. Like, that's all they're fucking doing. If you're teaching people about gay, lesbian, trans, and you're just talking about people about sexual identity and sexuality, and why you're teaching children about that, that's like pedophilic in nature. Anyways, so like I said, once you start pushing onto this stuff, they start coming after you because you're hitting too much of the sensitive points, and you're going against they can't have you going against their agenda. Anyways, thanks for listening to me and my bullshit diatribe. Oh, here's another thing. Porn. God, man. This is another fucking topic where it's like, okay, a rabbi is a Jewish, like, father or priest, right? People think that Jews and Christians believe like the same fucking, they don't believe the same thing. They have totally different beliefs, right? They believe in like similar stuff too, and they don't even fully believe in like the Hebrew scripture, like the full Old Testament of the Bible, right? They practice some of it, but they go with these other, like, they have other beliefs that you wouldn't believe, like they aren't Christian. That's why they don't believe in Jesus. They don't believe in Jesus's teachings and Jesus's practices. They don't believe in Christian shit. They don't believe Jesus existed. They're still waiting on the second coming or the coming of Christ. Right? Supposedly. But they're not really. That's why they do stuff that you wouldn't believe and you wouldn't agree with. So that's why it says here, why does a rabbi own Pornhub? Because he doesn't give a shit. He's not Christian. He is not like you. That's why. Plain and simple. So all the people who grew up, like I grew up with Christian values because I grew up in part of the Jehovah's Witnesses organization. So who's our God? We believe in Yahweh, which is supposedly their God too, but they don't fully believe that. And then also believe in Jesus. And so not so much anymore, just because of once I looked into the history of this stuff, I'm more of a spiritual person now. But So they don't have the same Christian values that you do, that you think that they do. And these are the people that are running these types of corporations, and they also have that much influence. They don't give a shit. And so what pornography does, look up the adverse side effects of watching too much pornography in general, and how much it fucks with people's brains and their sexuality. Check that out. Some people can't even get it causes like erectile dysfunction because they can't even have sex with a normal fucking woman because they're so addicted to porn. Check that shit out. Interesting. All right. Once again, here you go. This guy used to work for work with our government, and he said that the deep state, they're the ones that run things, and they're fully aware of that. So it says, if you still doubt the existence of deep state, then you need to hear this. Well, this guy was on the Dr. Drew show. You can listen to this clip. It's really, really interesting. You can watch that whole episode. But yeah, he basically says straight up that, like, this is why I was saying the other week, if you watch Joe, we all understand that Joe Biden isn't really running the fucking country, right? So that means that guy's so fucking goddamn out of his mind. He's not running the goddamn country. Some other entity is, which is our government. Whenever there's no fucking president around, our government just keeps moving on anyways, right? Just like we're seeing right now. We got a ghost of a fucking man as president. And that's because the deep state's running the fucking country. Now, if you look at who are these deep state people, that's why I was showing John Podesta. John Podesta is the fucking senior advisor to our goddamn president. That guy's look up the accusations on that guy and the trial against that guy, and look at how our government covered up the shit that guy was doing. Look up the shit that was on Anthony Weiner's laptop. Dude, the guy's a disgusting piece of shit. And that guy's part of the deep state, and who's part of running our fucking country right now. Nobody talks about that guy. We don't see any news about that guy on our media or anything like that, like saying, get this guy the fuck out of here. Gee, I wonder why. Because that's the reality. They want you to look at the fake thing, and they're just going to keep marching forward with that. The dog and puppet show. Anyways. He's just filling the missing part, regrets hits. That's funny. But anyway, so yeah, the deep state's what's running the fucking our country right now. 100%. That's why we didn't see Trump as our president last time. They basically said that that's why Trump talked so much shit about our deep state and our government, because once he got into office, they took over. They didn't. That's why he was doing executive orders left and right, because they were like, nope, you don't get to do anything. Get out of here. And then they tried to impeach him the entire time he was there in office. So, but they couldn't just impeach the guy, because then that just looks bad for so they're gonna isolate him and then run the country. And it's exactly what they're doing with Joe Biden anyway. So they're like, okay, get this guy who's fucking has dementia, and we'll just run the country and have that, and we'll parade that guy around. Australian state appoints official for men's behavior change. Here we go. More attack on the family. Attack the man, baby. We need to change men's behavior. An outcry over violence against women grows. What fucking... Go look it up. Statistically, lesbian couples are more violent than fucking any other couple, because they're both women. So whenever they get emotional or irrational and they have outbursts, they wind up slapping or hitting each other, because they don't have the same social stigma that men do, where it's like, we know if we touch a woman, we're going to jail. So we don't. But women don't have that same social stigma, so they fucking go to town on each other. Same with gay couples as well. Well, yeah. Anyways, so just throwing that out there. Really, really funny. All right, moving on. Just same shit, man. And once you break it down and look at all of it and where it's stemming from, you realize everything in your society and your fucking world is coming at you from every angle, just to fucking keep you in line. Keep pumping your tax dollars. If you really want to shut it down, don't pay your fucking taxes for several years, and the whole thing will fucking collapse, or they'll have to cater to you, or they'll come out and they'll kill you. Either way, I mean, One of two outcomes is happening there. All right. There's this book. Apparently, this book is banned by Stephen Mitford Goodson. It says A History of Central Banking and the Enslavement of Mankind. Interesting read. I think we have a excerpt from there. Right here. Part of the Great Depression. And this is an interesting little read here. We'll go ahead and take a look at this. Get ready for some more information, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready. So the Great Depression, the cap. And this is a quote from Montague Norman, governor of the Bank of England, addressing the United States Bankers Association in 1924. So this is literally to the day 100 years ago, right? Not to the year, sorry, to the year 100 years ago. Capital must protect itself in every possible way, both by combination and legislation. Debts must be collected, mortgages foreclosed as rapidly as possible. When, through process of law, the common people lose their homes, they will become more docile. I'm going to get it more in English accent. More docile and more easily governed through the strong arm of the government applied by a central power of wealth under leading financiers. The truths are well known among our principal men who are now engaged in forming an imperialism to govern the world. By dividing the voters through the political party system, we can get them to expend their energies in fighting for questions of no importance. It is thus by discreet action we can ensure for ourselves that which has been so well planned and so successfully accomplished. So basically they're saying, keep the people in debt and keep them fighting and bickering amongst themselves so they're not watching you and what you're doing to the people. Very interesting. So there's a lot of stuff like that in that book. Very interesting read. I was perusing through it the other day. One of our senior correspondents is actually reading it right now, and he's enjoying it. But yeah, it's all stuff that we're familiar with, though, right? All right, here we go. This one was really, really funny. This guy writes, "Give a man a fish," like quoting Jesus, right? "And he'll eat for a day," right? And then the rest of the quote from Jesus was, "Teach a man to fish, and he'll eat for a lifetime," right? But this guy goes, "Teach a man to fish by the pond, tell him he can't have the fish, but he can fish for you, and you sell the fish and give him a very small cut, and then he'll say stuff like, 'I'm hungry and my teeth hurt.' Nobody wants to fish these days." Yeah, you used to be able to fish, get your own fish, feed yourself. You can't do it anymore. Somebody else has already got the fish, and you got to work for them to even get some access to some of the fish, and the fish you get is shit, and it's making your life worse. Interesting. Very funny. I thought that was humorous. Ties into this. All right, we got another delicious little, this was a little eye candy for the ladies and gentlemen out there, mostly for the gentlemen. Little LGBT. This is the LGBT I can get behind, right, Dex? This is Dex, actually. This is actually Dex on the beach today. He's out there. This is him waving that flag all over. He's about liberty. He's about guns. He's about beers. And he's about the titties. Yeah. Right, Dex?
Oh, I love titties. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Anyway, so I thought that was a good one. It was funny. It's true, though. You can't enjoy these two things if you ain't got these two things. It's like the hard times, tough men, good times, soft men, hard times, right? So you can't have, it's an equation, really. You can't have these if you ain't got these, right? If you don't have fucking liberty, you can't have liberty. You can't have freedom of speech. You can't have freedom of all the other things that you enjoy here in the United States. You can't have your privacy. You can't have any of that stuff if you don't maintain those things through guns, right? You have to maintain it through violence because otherwise people are humans. Look at fucking nature out there. Look at animals. There's always somebody checking the fucking alpha, right? There's always some sort of hierarchy in most mammal societal groupings. So it's the same shit, right? So you always must say, hey, I'm protected and I'm willing to die for those things. Then once you have that, then you can enjoy your beers and your tits all you want. But anyways, so I do want to watch this video. I want everybody to watch this video, by the way. It's a 4-minute banger. Get your water. Get your chips, get your drinks out, and we're gonna go ahead and sit back and watch this and enjoy it together.
Most important tools
If it will let me play it.
that we have. It is
What the fuck?
Wikipedia is every day.
Wait, ooh. Mute tab? Is this muted? Better not be. Hold on. Hold on. Back up. We're gonna open it up and we're gonna play it when I find it. Give me a second. Put this on standby. But we're gonna put it on standby later. By the way, that starting music that we had going earlier, that was a Dex production. Dex made that song. I'm gonna let you guys listen to it for a quick second while I find this thing. I'll be right back. Okay, go ahead and take a quick listen.
Very special.
Wikipedia is Wikipedia is one of the most important tools that we have.
Okay, I realized what it was. Thank you all for waiting around and listening to that. By the way, Dex made that song. Just want to have you hear that. I wasn't gonna be gone forever. I'm back. We're back. We're back. I swear. I promise. I realized what it was. Why I couldn't hear it. It was literally because my headset had died. Yeah, I got it plugged in. It still died. What the fuck's going on? All right.
Wikipedia is one of the most important tools that we have for sharing information right now. Every day, millions of people use Wikipedia to learn about the world around them. People use Wikipedia to learn about things spanning from current day figures to political ideologies to ancient history. It's an easy way to learn about the world and to grasp many very difficult concepts. It is a very important learning tool. But who are the teachers? Who are the people who are writing and explaining the world to millions of people a day? So let's just start. What's a controversial topic that probably needs an unbiased and, distant approach, something clinical, right, from an expert in the field? How about gender identity, transgenderism? I mean, articles about gender identity and transgenderism, they're probably written by doctors or scientists or something like that, someone who has like years and years of experience in this field. One such article was written by one Gwenny Nyan, a 6'6" male to female transgender who has a sapphic sexuality, she, her. This lesbian transgender woman has one stepdaughter and one unofficially adopted daughter, and is a pagan and narco-communist. Gwenny Nyan is a voracious editor, and when not editing on Wikipedia about gender or transition-related things, you might also know her work from the Wikipedia page on the January 6th insurrection, as well as the impeachment trial of Donald Trump. The next user of importance who is editing and creating articles on transgenderism, gender identity, etc. is History Day 01. Most of their work deals with articles about gay, transgender, and bisexual characters in children's cartoons. History Day 01 is an autistic atheist who is exploring their sexuality. He is also a communist. Let's do some lightning rounds. Wandering Wand, transgender, psycho ma, furry, probably gay, fun crunch, agender, vegan, atheist, they, them, Black Lives Matter. He says that his main focus for the last 4 years of his life is being on Wikipedia in order to increase the representation of marginalized people such as black people, transgender people, and LGBT people. Fun Crunch has written many of the articles regarding the court cases, very famous court cases, which Donald Trump was a part of. They also wrote the article on white rage. One of the other frequent editors of gender identity Wikipedia articles and transgenderism articles is Guerrilla Warfare, who is an administrator for Wikipedia English, and just so happens to be queer and use she/her pronouns. I was seeing a pattern, but I needed to confirm it, so I checked out some articles on communism. Lightning round again! NMI 628, communist. Des Valet, communist. Bizet, communist. David King. Now, this guy's special. He was in pretty much every single article that I was looking at. He is a pansexual anarcho-communist. I need to take a moment to address, like, how big of losers these people are. Like, I don't think anyone's gonna believe me. These are the stats of David King. 38,000 posts over 8 years on Wikipedia. These guys have no life. They sit on this thing 28 hours a day, dude. They make up new hours to sit on Wikipedia every day. And it is not just him. Most of these people I've shown have over 10 years on this website, and most of them have had tens of thousands of articles that they've either written or edited. I mean, even in articles about recent or current events, America First, Nick Fuentes, who do you think's editing these articles? Blade Jogger, communist. Voltaire 1, transgender communist. Listen, there's a lot of good stuff on Wikipedia. There's a lot of articles you can read and wonders you can learn. You can do so much learning on Wikipedia. You just got to understand that a lot of the time, the article that you are reading is written by a gay, mentally ill, transgender, furry communist. The vast majority of America gets their news from mainstream sources, from CNN, stuff like that, and reads Twitter headlines of articles. And for the slim minority, 5% of the population, who looks deeper than that, who tries to find their own research, and you go on Wikipedia, you go on all these other websites which are supposed to provide truth, Google, and what do you find? You find that that is edited, that is skewed, that is lies as well. The issue isn't fake news, it's fake reality. It's that people are purposefully constructing false realities for people to live in and lying to them on purpose. They are teaching people a left-wing communist narrative and telling them that it is unbiased, that it's simply fact. Most Republicans don't even know that they're doing this. Most Republicans think that the greatest threat in the world is CNN, or Joe Biden, or Kamala Harris, or like the Taliban.
Or the greatest threat in the world right now, according to our NSA, is white supremacy. But you get it, right? You guys get it. It's really fucking interesting, man. It's all the same shit we were talking about. They preach a narrative, and they don't want you to go against it, and it's all bullshit. Bullshit. It's all an attack. It's literally a psychological and physical attack on you and your family because they fucking hate you. That's why they're getting more and more people in the country through other fucking countries because they want you gone and replaced. All right. Anyways, so holy shit. Senior Vice President of Disney just admitted on camera that Disney will only consider Jewish people for senior executive jobs such as CEO, CFO, and COO. So the CEO is the Chief Executive Officer, the Chief CFO is the Chief Financial Officer, and the COO is the Chief Operations Officer. So basically, they only want Jews in all the positions of authority at Disney. Breaking senior vice president at Walt Disney Company details discriminatory hirings practices. Nobody else is going to tell you this, but they're not considering any white males for the job. Says Michael Giordano, our vice president of business affairs. There's no way we're blah 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 blah. And it says, there you go, man. So I guess you can watch that one if you want. Check that out if you like. And once again, you think your kids are safe watching this shit? Watch some of the children's shows now. You're like, this shit's weird. Shit's definitely different. Right? And then when your children go to... Anyway, so... That's all the shit you're watching. It's all the shit your children's watching. And they're going to grow up thinking that these ideas and these thoughts and these concepts totally normal. And meanwhile, it's fucking killing themselves. Very fun. I think the opposite of life is evil, right? I think living is the good. And having and doing good and being good for the living of good and the good of living is the good, and the evil is everything the opposite of that, right? The creation of bad experiences for other people. the killing of other people, the demise of other people, the pain of other people. That's evil. Creating a bad experience for other people and yourself. That's evil. So, and these people are cool with that. And they want to keep it going. That's evil. This shit's not evil to you? Alright. It's evil to me. Anyways. Here we go. This is how I feel. Oh, man. When I'm told I need a permit to build on my own property, motherfucker. I own this shit. Yeah, you used to be able to. So you used to be able to, and I know in certain states that you can't do it anymore. Me and my coworkers were talking about this the other day. Like, you used to be able to like bury somebody that had deceased in your family on your property, and then that would like make it to where you don't have to pay property taxes on your property, which is why Trump buried I think his ex on Mar-a-Lago, right? So he can use that tax loophole. So people used to be able to do that, and the purpose of that was for you to be able to keep your property in your family, right? And so now that our government and all these other entities want your property and don't want you, your family, to have property, they want you to lease, they want you to take from, they want you dependent on them. So that way you can't stand up, you can't be independent, you can't be self-sustaining. They want you so codependent and so attached to them and so fucking sucking their dick and sucking their tit that you can't do shit for yourself. So they don't want you to keep property in your family. They don't want you to be able to afford property. They don't want you to be able to own property. They don't want you to be able to improve or make renovations to your property that make you self-sufficient and independent. It's all an attack. It's an all attack out on you, an all out attack on your family. And if you're wondering, I don't have a family, I don't have children, I don't have a wife, well, that's all by design. You don't have those things, and you thought you're a free thinker thinking, I'm independent, I'm too smart to have children, to have a wife, I'm too smart to do these things. Or I can't afford these things because I have to do these other things first that they told me I need to do. You can go get a fucking loan right now. Go get a first-time home buyer's loan. Don't put a fucking down payment. Just take the mortgage insurance. Just fucking start going to town. Go buy some property. Go build your own shit. Have you guys seen those fucking survival shows? There's literally a kid called Will Survives who's just got some extra property from a guy that had property. The guy allowed him and said, hey, you want to just do this? And the guy literally built his own house out of the trees and the dirt around him, and he just lives in that little house in his van and his dog. You don't need much. You can do it. And they don't want you to do that. They don't want you thinking like that. They shut that kid down, by the way. It was really funny. He did that. He said, fuck it, I'm done with society. He went out, started fishing out in the woods, built his own house out in the woods, and they fucking found him, and they told him to shut it all down, and they took him to court. Go check out Will Survives. It's really, really fucking interesting. But yeah, you don't need much. You can start somewhere. There's always a place to start. But yeah, or not. You have free will. You can do what you want. That's the reason why there is evil on this fucking planet. But hopefully people are wanting to do good. Right? All right. That's it for me. That's all the topics we got for today. Dex, hopefully you'll be here next week. Love you, buddy. Miss you, buddy. Hopefully you'll be back. And hopefully we have a guest next week. What the fuck? I got abandoned. Had to solo roll it. Had a lone wolf it today. But thanks for everybody for coming in, checking it out. Thank you for everybody chatting in the chat. Thank you for everybody stopping by and watching and listening. Check us out. YouTube. We're on YouTube. We're on Kick. We're on Twitch, obviously. You guys can go back, watch the stream on... Because I'm not going to have the episodes up on Twitch anymore. So just if you want to rewatch an episode, you're going to watch it on YouTube. And that's where it will be. So that would... Because Twitch doesn't keep it up for other... Even if I publish it, it deletes it anyways. So it doesn't really matter. And it's not a great platform to rewatch things on. But you can go on to our YouTube right here. And you can go check us out. And you can go to our live. And you can watch all of our past live broadcasts. Like you can watch last week's podcast. You can watch all of our old podcasts through here. Atom&Dex at Atom&Dex on YouTube. Check us out. Go find us. Give us a subscribe so you can check out the videos. They're a lot of fun to listen to on your way to work. While you're at work, have the headset in, listen to it. It's a lot of fun stuff. And if you guys want to hear different podcast topics too, if you want to hear us talk about other things, I mean, these are the things that we find interesting, we find important because it has immediate impact and value on you today to kind of get you some insight of like what's shifting and what's shaping the world. And but yeah, if you guys want to hear some other topics or you want us to hear us talk about some other conspiracy stuff or some other news, hit us up. Get in the Discord. The Discord's on the Twitch. Click on the Discord, join the Discord, and just start sharing your stuff that you want us to talk about in the general chat. It's right there. And yeah, and then we'll get some of those top topics going. But other than that, we got a new outro. Thank you to Mark Walbing. Really appreciate you, brother, for giving us a new outro for the episodes. So we're going to check out the new outro here as well. Also, thank you to Dex for creating that little starting music as well. So that way I have a little beat for you guys to listen to while the stream starts up or if we're on a pause. But anyways, thank you all for coming. We're going to be back next weekend as well. Hopefully Dex will be back and we'll have a guest for you for sure. But yeah, we'll be rocking and rolling. Thank you so much. And hope you guys enjoyed the show. And come back next time.
This concludes the Atom&Dex show. Make sure to subscribe, follow, like, whatever the hell you do. The Atom&Dex Show.